Yeah, I thought I'd do a video on confidence and lack of confidence, how that can affect that, how that's affected my life and stuff. And I think I've struggled with confidence from what I can remember since being a teenager. I think it comes natural when you're in high school, probably like my tween years, that I've developed something in my head, and like you can just call it shyness and lack of confidence. And as the years have progressed with that decade, especially from like I'd say the age of don't know 13 to don't know around 23 and a bit longer than that, my confidence has not been the best and has just gotten worse ever since throughout the years progressing. And I'd even say I've probably lacked confidence pretty much all my life, since engaging with people, since being in school in general. Like, I sort of maybe having Asperger's, I don't know if that's really the reason. I might have been more of a victim to bullying, and that's lacked confidence. Where in the past I can remember as a young kid that I probably wasn't as bothered about what people thought, and I was just more of myself, and probably did things, said things that might have been seen as weird. Or I think I remember people used to find me funny as a kid, but more funny as of laughing at me than with me. But I don't know. I can remember talking to someone saying you were funny as a kid, like because I was talking about, oh, did people just not take the piss out of me? It's like, nah, you're funny, and well, I guess he was being nice about it, but well, I probably just did weird shit as a kid, like I don't know, went the extra step up, like as a kid you can get away with shit like this, like don't know, showing your ass or something, exposing yourself, or fucking, I don't know, going into the fucking girls' toilets or something, or don't know, eating something gross, like I can remember I was the one that did all that. I can remember when I used to go to the cricket club, they did some of the like the girls experimented with weird shit like melting a Freddo in hot water, and I was the one that thought I'll drink it, or they might spit in it and I'd still drink it, or just something like that. Or many examples where I remember I used to go to the park, and there was a water fountain and a lot of people used to play in it, and over the time it got dirty, and where you probably had a lot of gangrene or something in it, or don't know, piss and shit potentially. And I still went in. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't do things like that now because I'm probably aware of what's in that sort of stuff. Or I might swim in dirty water, like I don't know, swim in a lake potentially or something. I think a lot of people probably would as a kid, but they're just a few examples, and some weird shit I used to do, or I might say the wrong thing. Where I can remember at primary school I got done for racism for saying the P word, you know what I mean? But at the time I didn't know what it meant, and I got done for it a few times, for repeating it, because I didn't really like the guy who I was talking to, so I called him a P word, to be honest, and just got done for it, and just other similar things. And I guess, like, from being a weird kid, being easily manipulated into stuff, being easily an easy target for people probably to take the piss out of me and stuff for many reasons. That the confidence has declined throughout the years, and I think being a teenager, it's probably natural. A lot of people do become socially awkward and are too shy to do things like talk to people, talk to women, and that's probably where the lack of love life has probably come into it, because I kind of expect the worst when I do that, where I just expect that women are probably just not interested in me, and I probably just get rejected left, right, and centre because I don't think I'm the best looking person in the world. And I guess people who have got things like Asperger's or a label usually get rejected anyway, where they're probably bottom of the fucking barrel. You know, if you're like some sort of special needs kid or something, because that's usually the harsh reality of it. And I think that's why my confidence has died throughout the years, and other things. Like, I think my confidence has probably gotten better since after I got ill, since I moved out. I think some of the stuff that I did when I was ill kind of shows that I kind of overcome my confidence to do stupid things. But I guess since moving out of my childhood home and living on my own, paying my own bills, probably socialising more with other people, probably usually like support workers or Andy's Man Club or a few other things, that I've learned how to socialise again, and I'm probably more comfortable around people, and I probably think, you know what, everyone's not as bad as they seem, like normal people, where, you know what, they're actually quite good, and I like to think normal people are friendly and good people. Like, got a lot of bad people, a lot of antisocial people, but I don't think they're normal. They've probably got problems for themselves. Where I've experienced stuff at school where people are blunt, say what I think, made bad decisions, hung around with the wrong sort of people, manipulative sort of people that say the wrong things to me. That stuff like my academic ability, or my ability to get women, or back then personal hygiene or something, or some weird other shit like what teenagers usually say, like really nasty stuff that, I don't know, that's quite vile, you know what I mean? Because a lot of teenagers are pretty vile, to be fair. Like, they might say something like, "Oh, you're a walking STD" or something, like that. Something, and just stuff like that. And I guess that confidence is just lowered throughout the years, and it drains the energy out of you, and you're just too knackered all the time, and you just want to sleep all the time. Like, I've done it in the past where I've just stayed in bed all day because I'm just too knackered and too drained and too depressed, low self-esteem, and I just don't feel like doing anything because I just simply don't feel good about myself. And back when I lived at home, I just feel isolated and lonely, and the only thing I'd do is go walk into the village in the cold because I live in England, and it's just that cold, isolating feel, where I lived in quite a nice middle class area where a lot of people are cliquey and you feel like you're left out, or people are laughing at you, and you just think the worst. And I've made a video about thinking the worst and all that. But I don't know, I guess I'm better now, where I've still got my problems, like I'm probably not quite confident enough to get a job, I guess. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more, but in all honesty, I've got the option because of Asperger's where I don't really need to work, and in all honesty, the way this country is, the way the government is, I can't really be arsed. I just don't really see the point, even though I do think the way my life is just not ideal. It's not fulfilling because I don't think something I probably want the most in life at the minute is some sort of like love life, you know, like a partner or something. I don't think it will go down well with a lot of women where, oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm on universal credit and PIP. I don't think that's going to go down well. When you don't drive either, even though I don't think that's driving's really a big deal in my opinion, or even something like living at your parents' house. But I don't live at my parents' house. I live on my own in community and I have supported living, but I still live on my own. I still have levels of independence. I think I still pretty much am independent in a way. In a lot of ways, I do think, to be honest. But I don't really work or anything. I've had voluntary jobs in the past. I've never really had proper jobs because voluntary jobs are just easier to get. And trying to think what else to say. Just stuff where you just don't feel like you're good enough, and I think the Asperger's thing or the sort of experience I've had in school has lowered my confidence and my self-esteem in a way. You just feel like you're not good enough, and there's nothing worse in this world than feeling like you're not good enough and below, and that's usually how it is, and that's basically the story of my teenager slash adult life, where I just feel like you're not good enough, you're broken, you're just lower. You can't really get like a normal girlfriend. At best you might end up with someone that's might have a bit of Down syndrome, autism. Not that I'm not open to that about all of the Asperger's side maybe, but that's how it feels, and it's not a nice feeling, no, and that duty of care barrier, and I just think there's lots of barriers that comes with the situation. I mean, especially when you're in supported living and things like adult care get involved, there's a lot of barriers that come in your way. Like if I was on lower universal credit and probably at my parents' house, I might be more confident and more willing to look for a job. I do think probably, even though it's probably easier said than done, where I might be willing to, don't know, get a fucking shitty average job at McDonald's or KFC or fucking Tesco, because that's the real world. But back when I left uni, I probably thought I was probably above that sort of stuff, and probably weren't confident enough to get a job because I just didn't have low self-esteem. I weren't a fan of people. I thought normies were just unrelatable and out of touch and just couldn't relate to people. But I guess having more experience of talking to normal people, maybe I kind of like people. I want to be around people now. But I guess I've always wanted to be around people. I've always wanted to fit in and get invited to parties, have a social circle. Like that's what I've always wanted, and I've enjoyed it when I have had that in the past. As a kid, when you do actually have a social life and more of what I do now, and you do get invited to stuff. But I guess coming from a normal, traditional working class town, I just thought people were just boring. You know what I mean? And probably are a lot of people that are boring, but because I had niche artistic interests and all that, and everyone else doesn't really seem to do that sort of stuff. So I thought I just couldn't relate to people. That's why I'm lonely and isolated, because I do have niche artistic interests and Asperger's and all that probably. But yeah, just barriers, and might make a separate video, but probably the reason why I never moved out for uni, because I just weren't confident enough. It's the easy option, but I guess I might have been around more people if I did move out uni, and maybe potentially got into relationships and all that sort of stuff. But it's what ifs and buts. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say for this video. Might make a part 2 at some point, but